Hi guys, welcome to Android Guide. So today we will be checking out Android 10 based HavocOS 3.9. Now this is the final release of the ROM, so there won't be any updates after this one, and the security patch level, as you can see, is September 5, 2020. Alright, now the phone that I am reviewing this build on is the OnePlus One, the legendary OnePlus One. This is a 6-year-old phone, by the way. It came out in 2014, and even on a 6-year-old hardware, the phone, the ROM is buttery smooth. So that just goes on to say how hard the developers have worked on polishing the different aspects of the phone. This is one of my most favorite ROMs based on Android 10. It's probably the most feature-rich ROM that you are going to find for Android 10. And if you think that including too many features makes the ROM unstable, then I guess you would be wrong, because I have been using this ROM since like a week or so, and I haven't faced any lag. And that's saying quite a lot for a phone that is 6 years old. And so you can only imagine if you have got a phone that came out after 2014, the ROM performance is just going to be great. Okay, so just a couple of things to note. Right now I don't have any GApps installed. Of course, when I was using the ROM, I did have the GApps installed, and I haven't just been using this ROM on my OnePlus One. I was also using this on my Pocophone F1, and there are some features that are useful for phones that have notches. Okay, so while we are on the concept of notches, let's check out those features. So first up, we have got the status bar customizations, and when we go under that, we have a master switch for hiding or enabling the clock. This is where those notch settings are, which I was talking about. Now, one option that I really like is auto hide clock. Now, if you have got a phone with a wide notch like the Pocophone F1 or the Google Pixel 3 XL with that bathtub notch, then you would know that the space for notification icons is very less. The clock tends to occupy like half of the notch space on one side on my Pocophone F1, so this feature comes in really handy. What it does is it will automatically hide the clock after some time. You can configure that duration. It's set to 60 seconds right now, but I can decrease it to like, let's say, 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds the clock will automatically get hidden. There you can see that, and after 5 seconds it will also show up as it did right now. Okay, one bug though with this feature is that it only works when the clock position is set to as left. If you either set it to center or right, then this feature doesn't work. So that is a minor bug, but I can stick with that one. And trust me guys, if you have got any phone with those wide notches, this feature will definitely come in handy. Okay, now moving on, if you want to show the AM/PM styles, then there is an option for that. This is the small font style, and this is the normal font style. Then if you want to show the seconds, there is that option, and you can also show the date. And we do have different font styles for the date, just as we had for AM/PM. You can choose from small or normal. Then the position of the date, you can either set it to as left of time or right of time. And then if you want to choose the date style, in normal the first letter is uppercase followed by lowercase characters. If you want all characters to be lowercase, there is that. And then finally we have the uppercase option. And finally you can set the date style that you want. There is also custom Java format that you can enter the date format in. Honestly, I don't know how to use that, but maybe if one of you is a coder, then maybe this will come in handy. Okay, moving on. Then we have got the logo option. If you want to show the HavocOS logo, you can configure the location of the logo, left or right. And then we have got a bunch of logo styles to choose from. So you can't you can not really show the Havoc logo, but a bunch of them are in here. If you want to show the Google logo, there is that option. I'll hide the logo. Then moving on, we have got the option for brightness control. What this does is if you just slide across the status bar, it will automatically increase or decrease the brightness. If you slide towards the left, it will decrease the brightness, and if you slide to the right, it will increase that. Then you have got double tap to sleep on the status bar. Double tapping on the status bar will turn off the display screen or whatever. Then we have got the network speed indicators. We have the option of we can either show the network speeds in the status bar or in the quick settings header. There we have the network speeds. The display mode is dynamic, which means that it will show either the upload or the download speeds. As for example, if you are uploading something, then the upload speeds would be shown, or if you are downloading something, then the download speeds would be shown. And if you want to show either of these, then you can set that option. I guess most of you would like to go for download here. Then you have got the auto hide threshold. Again, for those phones that have the notches, this feature is really handy. It will automatically hide the network speed when the data speed go below a particular level. and then in the end you can customize the frequency of which the network speeds should be refreshed. Okay, next up we have got the carrier label settings. You can choose the location of the carrier label if you want to show it on the status bar, if you want to show it on the lock screen, or if you want to show it on both the places. And finally, if you want to set a custom carrier label, there's that option. Alright, next up we have got the battery icons. So you can right now you can see that we have got the portrait icon, then we have got the circle icon, this is the dotted circle, this is the filled circle, and then finally if you just want to show the text, there is that option. If you want to show the battery percentage, you can do that. It can either be shown inside the icon or next to the icon. And we also have the battery bar. So if you enable it, it shows the battery. If you have used the exposed module status bar download progress, by the way, if you are not using that, definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the description for you guys to take a look at it. It's kind of similar. It shows if the battery bar is 100%, it covers the entire width of the screen, and depending on the battery percentage, that particular percentage of the width would be width. You can configure the location, top of the status bar, bottom of the status bar, and top of the navigation bar. For phones with notches, if you set this to as top of status bar, that looks really weirdly. On my Pocophone F1, I personally prefer to have it at the bottom of the status bar. That way I can just see how much batteries, I can see the battery bar properly, and you can also show it at the bottom of the navigation bar, any way you want. Okay, then if you want, you can change the alignment. It can either be center mirrored, or if you want to reverse it, there is that option. By default, it's aligned to the left. You can configure the thickness too. So this is the maximum thickness, or you can set it to 2 dps, which is the default thickness. Then we have got the charging animation. If you want to change the color of the battery bar, then this is the option for that. Now initially I believe that light status bar would mean that this would be the set of options that you can use to set the color of the battery bar when the status bar background is light, and then the same goes for the dark status bar options. Then this should be the option which you should use when the status bar background is dark, like it is right now. Currently the status bar background is black. So I thought that if I change the color of the dark status bar, let's say I set the full color to as green, and by the way, you can't another thing that small thing that you have to note here is that you can set the full and the empty colors, but you can't set the between color. The between color will be it would be computed automatically, or if you can just tap on it and it will come up with another shade, but you can't set a hex code for that. So now if I click on OK, it should change the color of the status bar, but somehow it doesn't do that. Now instead, if I change the light color of the status bar, so just let me set this to as, let's say we go for pink, and for MTV go for, let's say, blue. And now when I click on OK, now it actually changes the color of the status bar. So that was quite weird for me. In my opinion, the options should work the other way around, but this is how the options work. Okay, now moving on, next up we have got the status bar icons. So from in here you can enable or disable a bunch of status bar icons. Again, if you have got a notch, then you would like to disable a couple of different icons from here. Then if you want to show 4G instead of LTE, there is the option for that. If you want to show the cross sign when the mobile data is disabled, you can enable this option. Roaming indicator, small mobile type icon, this will show the mobile type icon on top of the signal indicator. So if you are using like 2G, 3G or 4G, this will show that. And then if you want to view the battery percentage of the connected Bluetooth device, you can enable or disable this. And in the end, if the number of notifications in the status bar is clocked with all the notification icons, then if you would have noticed, Android shows a 3-dotted icon with the 3-dotted icon, which means that there are more notifications than that can be showed in the status bar. By enabling this option, it will actually show the number of more notifications that can't be shown in the status bar. So you can enable this option. Next, we have got the quick settings. So you can enable or disable quick pull down. What this does is, if I let's turn this off first. Now if I pull down the status bar from the right hand side, it takes me to the notification shade, and then I have to do another swipe for getting to the quick settings panel. If I enable quick pull down and I set this to as right, then when I swipe from the right side of the status bar, it will directly take me to the quick settings panel. So that's what quick pull down does. I'll disable that. And we also have smart pull down. So this is like dynamic quick pull down. So when you've got no dismissible notifications, this will automatically get you to the quick settings panel, or you've got no ongoing notifications or no notifications. Again, a really smart feature. Okay, let's move on. Then we have got battery estimates. So this will show the remaining battery life next to the icon. Here you can see right now that the battery will last until 6 a.m. and the battery life has been really good on with this phone. I'll talk about battery life later, but in a nutshell, the battery life has been in par with other Android 10 ROMs that I have used on the OnePlus One. So no complaints with battery life. Then you can configure the transparency or the opacity of the quick settings panel. Right now the quick settings panel is completely opaque. You can't see any of the background, but let's say if I just reduce the background opacity, now when I pull down the quick settings panel, you can see some part of the background. By the way, do note that this doesn't affect the header of the quick settings panel, just the quick settings panel itself. Okay. Then if you want to blur the background behind the quick settings, then you can do that, and you can customize the blur intensity and the blur alpha. After that, by the way, I'll just give you a demo of that as well. Here you can see that the blur background has been blurred, as you can see. Okay. Next up, we have got the header image, and prior to that, we have got the status bar background. So if you want the background to be, if you want the status bar header to be transparent, there is that. Okay. Then you can use a custom header image if you want. These can either be static or they can be dynamic. Dynamic as in they will change for there will be a different header image during the day, then during the afternoon, evening, and nighttime. Okay, so let's check out each of them. We have got a couple of image packs to choose from. I will be showing you all of them. For the colorful image collection, let me just set this to as static. That way we will be able to view all the different images. So these are the set of images that we have for colorful. So as you can see from the name itself, this image will be shown during sunrise, morning, noon, afternoon, sunset, and then during the night. And then this is the header image pack for nature, and then we have got random nature images. If you select this option, then it will randomly select any image from the nature image pack. Then this is the poison image pack, poly image pack, space image pack, so different bunch of space icons here. And then we have got the wavy image pack. I just clicked on wavy noon, and that header image has been set as you can see. Okay, you can pick any of these from the set as set wavy sunrise. You can do that. You can select any image, and then if you want to select any image from the storage, let's say if I pick this random image that I clicked a while back, you can set that too. But unfortunately, we don't have any cropping or any such option. So if you plan to set a custom image, then you will have to crop it beforehand, and you might have noticed a stutter here. It does lag as well, so keep that in mind. Okay. Then if you want to darken the image, let me just go ahead and select colorful sunrise. A bright image would help a lot here. So right now you can see this is how the image in the header looks like. If I darken the image, let's say to 45%, then you can see how that changes the brightness of the image. Of course, the intention behind that is that the clock and the battery percentage or the battery estimates should be shown properly. White doesn't work too well with the white backgrounds, right? Okay. Then if you want to apply the accent color to the quick setting tiles, right now you can see this is how the quick setting tiles look like. If I apply the accent color to the quick setting tiles, then this is how it will change the color. Then we have got you can customize the grid size both in landscape as well as portrait, and you can also customize the number of quick setting tiles that are shown here. There is the option for that. If I change the option to 8, you can see that now we have got 8 quick setting tiles here. So columns quick bar, this will customize the number of quick settings that are that can be customized in the quick bar. Then if you want to enable or disable the file title, that is up to you. There is the option for that. And if you want haptic feedback when the quick setting tiles are pressed, you can enable or disable that option. You can choose where the brightness slider is shown. It can either be hidden, or you can move it down to the bottom for better one-handed use. Auto brightness icon, you can enable or disable that. And then if you want to show buttons next to the brightness slider, then you can do that. Okay, and when you press on either of these icons, there is a beautiful animation. Okay, alright. And then if you want to enable or disable the settings icon, the running services icon, user switcher, and the edit icon is there as well. While we are talking about quick settings, let us also take a look at what quick setting tiles do we get in the ROM. These are the tiles that are enabled by default, and these are the ones that you can add on. So lots of tiles, and one of my favorite picks are screen stabilization. We will be getting to this later on. I use caffeine very frequently, CPU info maybe sometimes. I don't use gaming mode that much. Heads up, I usually have the heads up notifications disabled. I'm more of the traditional guy who prefers the toast notifications, if you remember those from the Android Jelly Bean days. Screenshot, sound, sync, these are usually the ones that I have, and reboot, of course, that's there. And I also use the tiles app that gives me a couple of more quick settings to choose from. Okay, and you can swipe between the different quick setting pages. You can customize the grid as you have already seen. So, okay, now let's go to the lock screen settings. So you have got double tap to sleep. So tapping twice anywhere on the lock screen will turn the screen off. I always have this option enabled. Pocket detection, if you want to prevent accidental touches, you can enable or disable this option. I didn't face any touch issues on my Poco F1 or the One Plus One, so I kept this one disabled. Then if you want to have authentication vibration, that is when you unlock your phone by the fingerprint. If you want to have vibration, then you can enable this option, or when your fingerprint is wrongly detected, then you can also enable vibration for that. Then you can choose which elements should show up on the status bar. By default, this is how the lock screen looks like, and you might have noticed a tiny bug there. I'll show it again. Just notice how the background wallpaper comes up when you open the lock screen. So I hope you're able to see that. This is how the this bug was also present on my Poco phone F1, by the way. So this is a bug related to the ROM rather than the device itself. So this is how the lock screen looks by default. And yeah, I have also set up face unlock. It's really quick. Again, this is a 6-year-old phone, works fine on that. The Poco phone F1 uses the infrared face unlock. It works absolutely fine. And if I disable the status bar and quick settings, if you want to be able to slide the quick settings panel, you can enable or disable that option. If you want to show or hide the lock icon, and the charging info shows the battery percentage along with the current in amperes and the voltage. I'll just show you the charging info too. Okay, so after you have disabled all those options, the lock screen becomes really clean. So if you are one of those guys who prefers to have that kind of a clean lock screen, then you can enable that option. I'll just connect my phone to a charger. So you can see the charging animation there, and these are the different parameters that show up. You get the current, voltage, and the temperature. On some devices, you can even get the charging wattage. That's just the product of the temperature and the voltage. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, and yeah, I guess that's it. That's all that we have in the lock screen settings. Next up, we have got the ambient display settings. Here you can customize what you want to show in the ambient display. So ambient display, in case you don't know, is if you have the screen turned off, the ambient display will appear when you pick up your phone, or when you take your phone out of the pocket. That's when ambient display will be used. So using these options, you can customize what should show up on the ambient display. Battery level, if you want to show new notifications, music ticker, then you have got double tap your phone to check the time, notification icons, and other info. And then when do you want you can customize the different gestures actually. So let's say if you double tap your phone to check the time, notification icons, and other info, if you want the ambient display to be shown, then you can set it up as that. Or if you pick up your phone to check the time and notification icons and other info, then there is place to wake, hand wave, pocket. Honestly, I didn't use ambient display that much, so I can't comment on its stability, but I guess it would work fine. I can give you a quick demo, let's say. Okay, but I'm not sure if this will be screen recorded. Anyway, so this is how ambient display looks like. You can see the notification icon. I'm not sure if you can see the screen recording right now, but you can see the notification icon, the battery percentage, the time, and everything. And when you double tap on the ambient display, it takes you to the lock screen. Right, and then if you have got an always on display, by the way, this is not. I'll just disable this. Let me just disable it. Yeah, I guess the always on display is probably that is dependent on your device. Again, I'm not too sure about it, but I guess AOD is a feature that is there on phones which have AMOLED displays. Although I have also seen it on phones with LCD displays, but this is probably dependent on your device. For some reason, you can't enable this on the OnePlus One. And then if you want to customize the value of the ambient display, I'm not really sure what that does, but let's give it a shot. So if I change the slider to 162 and we double tap, I'll first have to enable the double tap option, and now when I double tap, that option I think that is currently making the screen look a bit brighter. So I guess you can change that value to customize the brightness of the screen. Yeah, definitely. And then if you want to use custom brightness values instead of the screen brightness, then there is that option. The maximum value is 255, and in case you don't know, 255 is the maximum display brightness. This is not in nits, but the value, I'm not sure of the unit actually. But what I can tell you is that if you know about hex codes like RGB, if you have heard of color values being expressed in terms of RGB, then 255 is the maximum value. So I guess it's somehow related to that. Anyway, moving on, we have got buttons and navigation. Now you can enable navigation bar on devices that don't have a navigation bar by default, such as the OnePlus One. It has capacitive keys. But anyway, if you I'll disable the navigation bar just for a moment, and then if you want to swap the back and the recent key, you can use this option. If you want to prevent interaction with the hardware buttons while the screen is on, to avoid accidental touches, you can enable this option. And then if you want to enable or disable the button backlight, you can use this option, and you can also configure the brightness level of the buttons, the backlight timeout, and when should if you want the buttons to light up when they are touched. So you can customize all those settings. Okay, turn off the hardware key and turn on the navigation bar back. Now onto the system navigation. We have got a couple of different options here. Okay, so we have got the 3-button navigation bar. Personally, I'm I like to use the 3-button navigation bar, but in case you like the gesture navigation, then there is that, and you can also customize the sensitivity for the gestures. And if you want to use the 2-button navigation, which has the back button and the pill-shaped icon, then you can use that. Personally, I would either go for the gestures. I use the gestures on my Poco F1, and for other phones, maybe consider me as like a traditional guy. I prefer the 3-button navigation. Right, and under layout, you can consider if you want to have the navigation bar as compact, left-leaning, or right-leaning. So this definitely comes in handy for one-handed mode. And then if you want to invert the recents and the back button, you can do that. If you want to show the arrow keys while typing, then let's say I type hello, I can use these keys to quickly go through different portions of the text. Then you can customize the options that show up in the power menu: advanced reboot, lockdown, screenshot, screen record, flashlight, and then whether or not you want the power menu to be shown on the lock screen. If you want it to be visible on the lock screen, then you can set whether it should show the reboot option or not. Okay, and you can just have to toggle each of these options on separately, and then you can enable or disable each option for the lock screen. So insane amounts of customization. Although one thing that I must mention is that the one-handed mode was present in Android Pie based HavocOS. They seem to have removed that with Android 10. Okay, but still we have got a large number of customizations. We have gone through the power menu settings. Then if you want to have long press the power button to turn on the torch, there is that option. And if you want to double tap the power button to turn on the flashlight, you can also do that. Then we have got the customizations for volume buttons. You can swap the volume keys when the device is turned to the landscape mode. There is playback control, so you can long press either the volume down key to go to the previous track, and you can long press the volume up key when the screen is off to go to the next track. And you can also use the volume keys to pick up the device, answer the calls, and we have got keyboard cursor control. It works similarly as we just saw with the arrow keys. Then these are the options that we have for example, when you long press the back button, which if you want a particular action to be performed, then we have got options for that. Now personally I would have if if you remember Android Pie based HavocOS, we had the Dirty Unicorns interface package in that room. So in that we had more options for customizing the long press and the double tap actions. The list of actions is the same. In this case, if you want to go through the list of actions for home button or recent key or the back key, the list of actions is the same. In Android Pie, we just had more customization options. So if you wanted to launch an app, you could do that. You could change the animations. So the DUI package was something I was a fan of, but they have removed it with Android Pie. Next up, we have got gestures. So if you want to use double tap the lock key to launch the camera, you can use that option. And by the way, please note that if you are using double tap the power key to enable the camera, then you can't use it for turning on the flashlight. Then we have got the system navigation. We have already gone through that. And then if you want to press the power and volume up key to turn on the silent mode, you can do that. You can set it to vibrate, mute, or mute, and also this option will also turn down the media volume to 0. Okay, just if you want to get a quick demo, I'll do that. So let's set it to vibrate, and now when I press the volume and the power key simultaneously, you can see that the vibration mode has been turned on. If I set mute and no volume, right now you can see that we have the media volume is not 0. When I do that, and now when I open up the volume panel, you can see that the media volume is also 0. Okay, so I'll just increase the media volume back to normal, and you can also use the quick settings panel to go through the different ringing modes. Okay, right. And going back, we have got the 3-finger gesture to take a screenshot. So if I slide down, you can use that, and expanded screenshot option is also there. And if you want to edit the screenshot, of course you can do that. The default gallery app that is included in the ROM is Gallery Go. We will just be taking a look at it in a moment. And then we have got touch screen gestures. So this is dependent on your device. So for the OnePlus One, we can use the different gestures to perform different actions. Like you can draw a upwards arrow, you can draw a V to launch the camera or launch the browser, flashlight. This is the list of options that we have. Again, this is a device dependent feature. If your device doesn't support screen gestures, you wouldn't be getting this option. Okay, so we are done with gestures. Notifications, and if you want to enable or disable the charging LED, there's the option for that. And again, we have got insane amounts of customizations. You can even input the hex color code. This is just for phones that have the RGB LED. Nowadays most phones don't have. I do remember that the OnePlus One does have this option. The Redmi Note 3, the Note 4 had it. The Redmi Note 5 didn't have the colored notification LED, and most of the phones that have been released in the last year or two don't have the RGB LED. So but yeah, it's good to see this option here, and then you can customize if the LED light should blink when the battery is low. Okay, right. Then if you want to configure the notification LED, you can do that, but you can't configure it the notification LED color on per app basis. You can just toggle it on or off. If you want to customize the notification color for the color of the notification LED for every app, then there are some third-party apps that you can install from the Play Store. I think Light App Control, or there was an app with this name that I guess you can use. But if you remember correctly, that was that app probably stopped working after some recent Android updates. I think last I checked it worked fine in Oreo, but probably not after that. Anyway, if you want to next setting that we have is if you want to enable the flashlight for an incoming call, then you can set this option. Also, I don't know why you would want to do that, but some people find it funky, I guess. So if you are one of those, you can probably enable that option. Then you have got pulse the flashlight when there is a call waiting, and then you have also got edge lighting. So this is one of the features that has been in demand with a lot that has been in great demand in recent times with those screens that are curved. Now I can't really show this feature to you in screen recording, but as you might have guessed, or even if you're watching this video, you probably know what edge lighting is. You can customize the different options. If you want to have a solid light view, a faded light view, or the light color, notification based, wallpaper based, accent, or if you even want to set a custom color, you can do that. So and then the duration, the repeat count, the repeat mode, the amount of customizations are just insane. It's really insane of what you can do with just the edge lighting. So you can use that option if you want to. Then we have got heads up notifications. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I personally don't like heads up notifications. I just disable them and turn on the ticker notifications. But if you are a fan of heads up notifications, then you can customize the timeout, how long the heads up notifications show up. Snooze timer, in case you don't know, you can just swipe up on the heads up notifications to snooze them, and then how long is the if you want to show the heads up notifications for media like your music apps, or if you want just to show the heads up notifications for just the dialer, messaging, and the alarm apps. So maybe I guess even if I just have to use heads up notifications, then probably I'll just have this option enabled. And then you can enable the blacklist. If you don't want certain apps to show the heads up notifications, you can use this option. Ticker notifications, this is what I personally use, and every time you enable it, it will do a system UI restart. So I'll just use the face unlock, and you can show the ticker notifications for just the notifications, or if you also want to enable the ticker notifications for music, then there is that option. And how you want the ticker notifications to change, you can either choose in between fade or scroll, and then the ticker notification duration can also be customized. In fact, I would really like to show you ticker notification, but I'm not sure if I can set it up. In fact, there it is. You can see the saving screenshot. Did you see that? In fact, I'll take a screenshot again, and maybe that will work. So let's take a screenshot. There we go, and it should say as saving screenshot. I don't know. Anyway, it does say that the screenshot has been saved, but it didn't show up the notification. Anyway, if you saw the saving screenshot message in the status bar, that's what ticker notifications are. I personally don't. I find the heads up notifications to be intrusive, so that's why I keep going back to the Android Jelly Bean days when ticker notifications were a thing. Alright, and then if you want to enable or disable the force close notifications, there is the option for that. If you want to a kill app button, so a kill app button will be shown when you long press the notifications. So for example, when I long press this, and if you want the kill app button to be shown now, and then you can see we have got the close app button. If I close the app, then the app will be force closed. So there's the button for that. And then if you want to enable noisy notifications, so this will play sound and vibrate for notifications when the screen is on. So that's completely empty. Okay, battery saving, suspend actions is there. So this will, if you are still living in an area where 2G networks are supported, then this is one of the things that you can do. When the screen is off, you can automatically switch to 2G, or you can switch to 3G, disable mobile data, disable GPS, and you can do these are a bunch of different things that will just help you increase the standby time. And you can also configure when the screen off actions are triggered. So this option will trigger the suspend actions after 25 seconds after the screen is off. Okay, so there is that. And then if you want to block sensors, this will significant motion accelerometer, linear acceleration sensors will be blocked for these apps. So if you want to block the sensors for certain apps, you can do that. And then we have got the screen notifications, or the screen customizations. Now in case you have got a phone with the rounded corners, and if you would like to customize the rounded corners of how curved the screen should be, then there is the option for that. Now if I just go back to a light background, you can probably now see how the screen looks like. Again, I'm not really sure if this will show up in the screen recording, but the icons are curved right now, and when I set it to as 0 dp, the icons are not curved. Okay, and then you can also set the padding of the content from the corners. Alright, so those are the options that we had for the screen. Animations, you have got a bunch of different options here. So I'm usually a fan of how the notifications are by default in Android Pie and even in Android 10. So I don't usually tinker around with these, but in case you want to change the open activity animation, or if you want to change the animation for any of these, then you can do that. The list of options is the same for all of them, and if you have used any previous ROMs, like the ones that were based on Nougat, Marshmallow, or Lollipop, and I think this has been taken from XBlast tools. It was really popular back in the days of Android KitKat and Jelly Bean. So if you have used that, you are probably familiar with these options, but I wouldn't touch these if you're just a fan of the Android 10 animations or Android Pie animations. Then we have got the quick setting tiles animations. You can either flip or rotate the quick setting tiles. So very quickly I will give you a demonstration of the rotate animation. And then we have got the flip animation. Yeah, so those were the two options. And then if you want to set the animation duration, you can set it to as low, default, or fast, and the animation interpolator. So let's say what we saw right now was linear. Let's say we choose bounce, and we have set the animation to as flip. Now you can see it kind of gives it like that bouncy effect. So if you want to do that, it's completely up to you. Again, a lot of customizations. Media. So if you want the ringtone focus mode, so in case you have got your headphones plugged in, where should the ringtone play from? Should it play from both the headset and the speakers, or just the headset if media is playing? So this is a nice to have option if you are listening to some music on your own with your headsets plugged in and you don't want anyone to be disturbed, then maybe you can use this option during the night, or I would call you during the night. Alright, and then you have got adaptive playback. This will pause the media when the volume is muted and resume it by increasing the volume within the time. So this is a nice option. You can configure the playback timeout. The minimum is 30 seconds and the maximum is 10 minutes. And then if you want to show the music visualizers, you can do that. You can show them either on the lock screen, navigation bar, or both of them. If you remember the Unicorn interface package that had a feature known as Pulse, which showed the music visualizers in the navigation bar. So this is similar to that. In fact, the customization options are also similar. So we have got fading blocks and solid lines, and you can also customize the color mode. If you want to use the accent color, the lava lamp, or automatic, the automatic option will automatically select the color from the album art, like we have the dynamic color picker in the notifications, similar to that. And then we have got the animation smoothing option, and again we have got insane amounts of customizations for customizing the bar width, spacing, size, spacing, sanity level, and all that. And if I go to solid lines, then you can configure the line opacity, lines count, sanity level. But anyway, I'll link a video down in the description which will show you how Pulse works in case you want to check it out. And then in the end, you can, if you want to enable or disable the media artwork, you can do that, and you can customize the blur level. Okay, so that's those are the options for media. In the end, we have got the gaming mode. If you want to, then you can select what all options should be triggered for the gaming mode. If you want to block all the notifications, and then if you want to disable the heart rate buttons while gaming, disable automatic brightness, ringer mode, gaming mode indication if do you want to have toast notifications, just the notifications, or both of them. And if you want to enable a dynamic mode for gaming, so this will automatically detect which apps are games, and it will automatically enable the gaming for them. If you want to have that option, you can do that, and then you can select whether the screenshots should be full or partial, and you can also customize this from the quick settings panel itself. If you single tap, it will change to partial screenshots, and for taking a screenshot you just tap for long the quick setting time, and then it will darken the screen, and there you can see the cross button for cancelling the partial screenshot. But if you want to take a screenshot, a partial screenshot, you just select the region of the screen which you want to take a screenshot of, drag it, and then it asks you whether you are satisfied with the selected region. Click on yes, and it saves the screenshot. So that's what partial screenshot does. And then if you want to wake the device when a charger is plugged in, there's the option for that, and we have already seen the charging animation. And then we have got if you want to disable the suggestions for in the settings menu, and then the condition cards. Okay, and then finally we have got the about HavocOS option, where you can view the team that is behind HavocOS. Right, so that's all what we have in the configuration center. And then you can go to the battery settings. You can see how long the battery lasts. The battery graph is there, and if you want to see the full device usage, like back how it was in the older Android versions, then you can do that from here. You can show the app usage or the device usage if you want to view the screen on time. Okay, and battery saver can automatically be turned on if you want to set a schedule for it. For example, if you want to turn on battery saver when you are going to bed, then you can do that, or this will turns on dark theme. It also turns off or restricts background activity like some visual effects and other features like Hey Google. All of those will be disabled. So it's up to you if you want to set a schedule or turn on the battery saver at a particular percentage. Okay, and then we have got smart charging. This is another unique feature to HavocOS. You can trigger when if you want to. Now, most scientific studies say that you should charge your phone only up to 80% for to maximize the longevity or the lifespan of the battery. But I kind of don't get the point behind it, as phones are just meant to be use and throw gadgets. If you want to extend the lifespan of your battery, then you can use this option. But I honestly don't understand why you would only charge your phone to 80% and not use the remaining 20%. You can actually do that. Okay. Right, so those are the settings that we have under battery. Then under display, we have the dark theme. You can you can enable it on a schedule basis from sunset to sunrise, and you can also toggle it on and off the settings, or you can also toggle it on and off from the quick settings panel itself. And let's stick to the white color for some time. We'll just tone down the brightness a bit. We do get night light as well. You can schedule it, turn it at custom time, or just like dark theme, you can set it to as you can enable that automatically from sunset to sunrise. And we also have adaptive brightness. Adaptive brightness was quite finicky actually for me. I personally don't. This was introduced in Android 9. I personally have this feature disabled most of the times because I find it doesn't adjust the brightness as per how I want it to be. So I usually have this feature turned off. And then under styles and wallpapers, you can choose among the different styles. So this is the default style. You can view how the icons and the accent color will look like. Then we have got the crayon style, and we've got a bunch of different styles: ash, collage, crayon, and default. You can check each of these out. This is how the crayon style looks like. This is how the collage style looks like, and this is how the ash style looks like. So whatever you want to use, it's completely up to you. And then if you want to create a style of your own, you can do that. You can pick the font. There are a number of different options for that, and then you can choose how the icons should look like, and then you can even choose the accent color. You can't enter a custom hex color, but the number of options included here are sufficient for most. Then when you click on next, you can select the primary color. It says that no valid primary colors available. I'm not sure why it's saying that, but let's click on next, and then you can select the shape if you want to have circular or square, teardrop, or elliptical or rounded square, whatever, rounded rectangle rather, whatever shape you want to choose. Then if you want to name your style, and then when you click on apply, you can notice the changes right away. So I will just go back and revert back to the default style, click on apply, and there we have it. Okay, so those were all the options in the styles. We've also got live display, and you can automatically turn it on again. It also has a dynamic nature. You can adjust the display for lowest power consumption without degradation, enhance colors. So this will automatically increase the vibrance of the colors when tones, scenery, or other images are being used. It's up to you if you want to enable or disable that. Then lock screen display. If you want to show all the notifications on the lock screen, these are the options for that. If you want to skip the lock screen after face unlock, go directly to the last use screen, then you can enable that option. Or if you disable it, then the lock screen would not be automatically dismissed after your face has been recognized. And then if you want to add users from the lock screen, you can do that. Lock screen message can be configured from here. And then if you want when do you want the lock screen to show, if you want the lock screen to show, if you want to your display to light up when new notifications are there, then you can enable this option. Okay, and in the end, double tap to make this there. Okay, so those were the options under display settings. For sound, you can configure the different sound levels. Under vibration and haptics, you can set when should these be enabled or disabled. If you want to have in-call vibrations, you can enable that. And in-call vibration means that when the call goes on waiting, or it when the call is answered or it is dismissed, then the phone will vibrate. And another great feature about HavocOS is the vibration pattern. You can I can't really show you how this feels like, but you will actually have to try this. But these are some different options that you can try out to customize the vibration pattern to your liking. Then we have got the do not disturb mode. I don't think I have to cover up anything in here. And then you can choose the phone ringtone, and this does include the Google Sounds app, which has a really nice UI. So you can use that, and if you want to use a custom sound of your own, if you want to pick something from the file manager, then there is the option for that too. Okay, but the sounds that are included by default are themselves are good enough, so I don't really think that you would need to include a custom ringtone. But in case you want to use a custom ringtone, you can of course do that. Then the same goes for alarm sound and notification sounds. Then volume steps are present here. You can the minimum is 5 and the maximum is 60. What I usually prefer to do is I just go back to the configuration center. Again, this is just a little hack that I use on my own. Maybe you can use that if you want to. So when I scroll down, I have usually set up the double tap actions to show up the volume panel. So that way you have got quicker access to change the different volume levels. So maybe if you want to use that, you can configure the volume panel to show up by double tap or long pressing any of the navigation bar icons. Okay, so those were the volume steps. The minimum limit is 5 and the maximum is 60. And then you can disable the screenshot sounds if you want to, touch vibration, touch sounds, charging sounds, screen locking sounds, type tones. Those are the options in the sound settings. Storage, the ROM isn't bloated at all. There is the gallery app, and we just have a web browser. So the ROM doesn't have any bloat at all. It's just completely bloat free. And if you're wondering where the clear all button is, then it's located towards the end of the recents tray. I'm not a fan of this recents interface. I like the stacked recents, where you could just view all where the recents were stacked, and you could just vertically scroll through them instead of horizontally scrolling through these. But that's how Android has turned out to be. By the way, the stacked recents were present in Android Pie, but Google removed them with Android 10. Okay. Then we have got the privacy settings. So if you want, we have got the permission manager. If you want to show the passwords, show the permission hub. We also have the clipboard access alerts. So this will show up a notification whenever the clipboard is accessed on your device, when any app attempts to access the clipboard. And then on the lock screen, we have already seen this setting. What content do you want to be shown on your lock screen, whether you want sensitive content only when you unlock the device, or you want all the notifications to show up. And then we have got permission manager. You can go to each app and enable or disable the different permissions. Locations, and from here you can view which apps have requested for locations. Again, these are the stock Android 10 features that we are talking about, and if you want to enable or disable Wi-Fi scanning, you can do that from here. Okay, so I guess we have mostly wrapped up all the options under the settings. The remaining options are when we click on the gear icon, you can we have the scramble pin option, and the quick unlock option is also there. So when you enter your pin, you won't have to click on the enter key. It will directly unlock the screen, lock screen. Yeah, so those are all the options that we have. We do have the developer options too, but USB debugging is there, of course. But I don't think we have got anything worthy that we should talk about. And Wi-Fi scan throttling, this reduces battery drain and improves network throttling. If you want to disable that, you can do that. Mobile data is always active. If you want to enable that, that option is there. You can customize the Bluetooth codecs. I do think aptX is included. Yes, aptX is there, and LDAC is also there for those of you who want to use that. And yeah, I guess those are the only noteworthy options in Havoc in the developer options. And I think we also had the desktop mode. Again, desktop mode is in really early stages, so we you can probably leave that out. And some notifications can appear as bubbles on screen. Facebook added bubbles to messages recently, and I believe some other apps have also. So if you want to use that, those are the couple of options which you can check out. Now onto the apps which the ROM has by default. We have the camera application is the standard Snapdragon camera. So when I open it up, we have got the standard settings, HDR mode. You can toggle between the different cameras, and you can configure the picture size, the quality. If you want to have a countdown timer, you can do that. Face detection, you can choose the ISO. If you want to manually configure the white balance exposure, then you can change the ISO to touch focus duration, red eye reduction, shutter sound, power shutter, bright screens. And then if you do choose to manually tweak the different parameters for the image, then you can configure the saturation, contrast, sharpness, auto exposure, and we also have the anti-banding and the denoise options at the end. So just your stock camera options, nothing too fancy, but we do get some filters if you want to check those out. These will just I don't know if you are these will just change the white balance, increase the saturation a bit in different cases. But again, it's these are the different camera modes that you can check out. Okay, so but I guess if you are using a newer device, then you will probably go ahead and install the Google camera anyway. But those were the features in the stock camera app itself. Going to the gallery, we have got quite a lot of good options here. So Gallery Go is quite feature rich in itself actually. So when I click on it has editing options for both photos and videos. I'll get to videos in a moment, but for photos we have got an automatic option. So this was an image which I took in the dark, and the shadows were completely blown out in this case, but when I use the auto option, it slightly brought up the shadows, although they are still crushed, but you can still see the shadows just a bit. And when I long press, you can the shadows are crushed, right? Now they are just slightly brightened up. Okay, and we also have got some more editing option. You can use the different filters, of course. If you want to rotate the image, if you want to crop that, you have got those basic set of options. Yeah, so that's all that we have in Gallery Go, and as I already mentioned, if you want to edit a video, then you can trim it down. So those are the options for editing the videos, just basic editing options. And the default launcher is the shade launcher. We do have some ample amount of customizations in here as well. If you want to allow workspace editing, at a glance widget is there, search bar, show a subtle gradient behind the status bar, icon labels, multi-line labels, always send the wallpaper, allow home screen rotation. And similarly, we have got settings for the app drawer. You can hide apps if you want to, and we have got app predictions, icon labels in both the portrait and the landscape mode can be enabled or disabled individually. And you have got multi-line labels if you want the app names to show up in the next line or not. You can configure the grid size for the dock on the home screen, and you can then change the grid size for the if you add any options to the any icons to the home screen. Then yeah, so again, insane amounts of customizations. And I think grid size would mainly refer to the app drawer, but in case you are adding some icons to the home screen, I guess it might be applicable to that too. Then if you want to use a custom icon pack, there's that option. Notification dots, that is also there. You can even change the icon size, add new icons to home screen, you can do that. Gestures, double tap to sleep is there. Swipe down for notifications, swipe down to clear all the notifications, clear all apps by swiping down in the recency. Okay, so a lot of options here, and this is Shady Launcher. You can also install this on other ROMs if you want. I'm planning to do a separate video on this one, on the Shady Launcher, but this is, as you can see, this video has turned out to be really long, and that just goes on to show how feature rich Havoc OS really is. I haven't really had any problems with Havoc OS. I have loved using this ROM, but as compared to Android Pie, I feel that there are some options which I find to be missing. The options that I miss the most are the stacked recents panel and the dirty unicorns interface package. Also, I feel that the we had some more customization options in HavocOS Py, like you could change the notification icon, the shape of there were more options for changing the icons in the quick settings panel, the quick setting toggles, and there were some more features. So personally, after this one, I'll be going back to HavocOS Py and use that for a while. But in the week or so, I have used HavocOS 3.9. I have loved this ROM, and I think you will like it too. So if you are on the lookout for any feature-rich ROM, you don't have to go to any other ROM. You can just go to HavocOS straight away. This is right now the most popular ROM in the Android community when it comes to features, just like Resurrection Remix was during the Lollipop Marshmallow and the Nougat days. That's HavocOS for Android. Lastly, I just want to talk about the dialer application. So this is how the dialer application looks like, and when I go to settings, we have got a couple of options here. So the main options that I want to show you are under sound and vibration. So if you want to enable vibrate on answer, vibrate on call rating, vibrate on hang up, vibrate on every 45th second of the clock, then these are the options for that. And if you want to automatically record calls whenever you make or receive a call, then you can enable this option, and you can also choose the format in which the calls are recorded. So call recording is there, and just a quick look at the other options. You have got standard options for display, and then quick responses. You can customize those, and call forwarding, call upcalling accounts, all those are there. You can block calls, block some numbers, voicemail, you can set that up. Accessibility is there, and yeah, that's all. Okay, so just wanted to tell you that the ROM supports call recording. So yeah, that's been it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.